Standing tall since the late 1800s, High Rock Tower has witnessed Lynn's ever-changing story. Originally a site for spiritual gatherings and fire watching, it came to symbolize hope, discovery, and community. Through wars and modernization, it stood strong. Recent restoration efforts have brought new life to the tower, turning it into a space where history meets the present, hosting events, lighting the sky, and reconnecting Lynn with its roots.
My knowledge really starts in like the 1800s. I would say the big notable one is in the 1850s. It was a huge hive for spiritualism. So people were trying to communicate with the dead, try to do ghost stuff like that. Most people know High Rock because of that. However, the Hutchinson family singers also owned High Rock for a little bit, and that's like their big claim to fame. If you go back, the Hutchinson family that I just mentioned, they are really involved in women's rights and abolition, and also in the teetotaling movement. That is a huge part of this like area's history, but specifically High Rock Tower. That's kind of like the hive of it, right? It's a nice community center. It's owned by the city of Lynn. They do a bunch of programs. A lot of them are at night. It has an observatory, which there aren't really too many of here. There's like 3 or 4 in the area, but in Lynn, that's the closest one. So they do a lot of astronomy things during the summer. They do concerts. It's just like a nice community area. The Hutchinson family singers, there's 16 of them. 4 of them form a family quartet. The big ones are John, Judson, Asa, and Jesse. Jesse's the one that's really involved in the spiritualist movement. He's also really involved in abolition. I think their biggest claim to fame is in 1863. They made a campaign song for this little-known politician named Abraham Lincoln. The song was called Lincoln and Liberty Too, and it was huge. They also worked with a lot of other people around the area that are very involved in that scene. The big one is like William Lloyd Garrison, John Greenleaf Whittier, a local poet. They're friends with Frederick Douglass, who lived in Lynn for a short period of time. Big song, other than Lincoln and Liberty Too, is Get Off the Tracks. It's a very standard abolition song for that period.
Oh, the car emancipation rides majestic through our nation, bearing on its train the story, liberty, a nation's glory. Roll it along, roll it along, roll it along through the nation, freedom's car emancipation.
When you see High Rock Tower today, you're seeing not the first tower. The first tower that was built way back in like the 1840s for Jesse Hutchinson, a local man named Alonzo Lewis, who's known as the Bard of Lynn, constructed that first tower, which actually burnt down while they were celebrating the end of the Civil War in 1865. Entire place gone, burnt to ashes. The one that you see now with the observatory was built in 1907. It was designed by the sons of Frederick Law Olmsted. John Charles and Frederick Law Olmsted Jr. built the tower that you see there today. There's a lot of folk tales. In the 1850s, there was a huge spiritualist convention. People from Boston came all the way over to High Rock Tower and then made their way to Dungeon Rock. It was over a procession of over 3,000 people. Very interesting. One of the people that led it was a gentleman named H.F. Gardner, who actually brought over the first planchette, which is part of a Ouija board, he brought over a bunch of people from High Rock Tower over to Dungeon Rock and then back to High Rock. So suffice it to say that High Rock Tower is huge into like the local community, and always has been, and probably always will be.
High Rock's cottage wasn't always abandoned. We had the chance to speak with someone who once lived there, a reminder that behind the stone and silence, this place held real-life memories and stories that still linger today.
As a kid, right up to the playground, they had rides. There was a swimming pool, but that wasn't for long. They took that away a long time ago. But there was rides and seesaws and we get the groups together up there. Oh, this talks about the stone cottage because everybody thought it was haunted, and as your kids, you think you were afraid to go by it and stuff like that. But the haunted house, we used to call it, and afraid to go in it and go by it or anything.
High Rock Tower began in the 1800s as a gathering place for spiritualists, drawn to its height and sense of wonder. Over time, it became a symbol of community and discovery. Today, it's no longer a space for spiritual rituals, but for stargazing. Thanks to local efforts like Josh Judkins, who continues to connect Lynn to the universe above.
As soon as I moved in, I went over to Jamie Marsh in City Hall, and he agreed to let me work with him to volunteer and open up the observatory on a monthly basis. High Rock Tower is an interesting location because it is perched high above the city. It means that we can look at a lot of stuff. Number two, because it's on a reservation, there's actually not a whole lot of lights immediately around, and also being in Lynn, on one side of us we have the ocean, and there's no lights out there on the ocean. It's evolved quite a bit, I would say. The current observatory dome was kind of in the telescope was installed in the early 2000s, so like late 1990s, early 2000s. There was a grant to refurbish the tower and the observatory itself. The telescope itself is it's a Schmidt-Cassegrain style telescope, so that would be in the class of telescopes known as reflectors. There's really a whole lot that we can see, so we can have really nice views of the planets. I think to reiterate, High Rock Tower is a really special gift that the city has. It's rare that a city has their own observatory. If you live in Lynn, it's there for you to see and experience, so definitely take advantage and enjoy a tower that is your right and privilege as a citizen of Lynn to utilize.
High Rock Tower has always been more than stone and sky. In the 1800s, it was a gathering place for spiritualists and visionaries like the Hutchinson's family, who filled the hill with music, activism, and hope. The nearby cottage wasn't always abandoned. We even spoke with someone who once called it home, a reminder of the lives woven into this place. Though the spiritual gatherings have faded, the spirit of wonder remains. Today, thanks to people like Josh, the tower connects Lynn to the stars once again. And thanks to Chris, its rich history is kept alive, reminding us of where we have come from. High Rock is a powerful landmark, and we are truly blessed to have something so meaningful right here in our city.